Time is running out. Stop planning. Stop hoping. Stop polishing excuses. Action is the only currency that buys results. This audiobook is a surgical blueprint. How to collapse overwhelm, manufacture momentum, and force yourself to take action today, even when motivation is gone. If the life you want isn't showing up, it's because action wasn't invited. Listen, absorb, and move. Do not let another idea die in your head. Chapter 1. Stop proving and start doing. You have a choice. You can rehearse forever, or you can ship something today. Most people choose rehearsal. They call it preparation. It's a mask. It's safe. It feels important. It isn't. Listen, proof is comfortable. Production is dangerous. Proof keeps the ego fed. Production feeds results. That's the difference. Prove less, produce more. Here's the scene. A marketing intern builds the perfect campaign in a Google Doc. Slides are flawless, the mock-ups are clean. The KPI table looks like a prophecy. They keep polishing. They ask for feedback. They wait for permission. Weeks pass. The campaign never launches. The competitor launches. The market moves. The intern learns a harsh lesson. Competence shown on paper is not competence in the world. You have a choice. Stay proving or do the work that changes outcomes. That's the key. Why does proving feel so necessary? Because proving hides failure. Because proving gets praise without risk. Say it aloud. I'm working on it. Say it to others. Say it to yourself. It sounds productive. It is not. The world does not reward good explanations. The world rewards completed things. You don't need their permission. Ship. This chapter is surgical. It tells you exactly what to stop and exactly what to do instead. Short, actionable rules. No fluff. Rule 1. Set a launch deadline smaller than your comfort. Not a comfortable deadline, a brutal deadline, a 72-hour launch. Not a year, not a perfect date. 72 hours. Why? Because constraints force decisions. Constraints expose the essential. Constraints crush perfectionism. Example. Pick one idea. Draft the minimum viable version. Ignore the nice-to-haves. Ignore the feature you think will make it perfect. In 72 hours, you will be surprised. You will learn more in 3 days of testing than 3 months of planning. Launch incomplete. Learn fast. Repeat that. Launch incomplete. Learn fast. You will make mistakes. Good. Mistakes reveal what matters. Mistakes create data. Data beats fear. Decide fast. Correct faster. You have a choice. Decide to act. Rule 2. The rule of 2 actions. Every day, identify 2 high-leverage moves. Not 10, not a long list. 2. That's the discipline. 2 moves, 0 excuses. What is a high-leverage move? It is the action that creates the most forward motion relative to time spent. For a creator, it might be write the first 500 words of the chapter. For a salesman, call 5 targeted leads. For the intern, publish the campaign landing page and send the first email. Do those 2 things first. Protect the first 90 minutes. Close the door. Remove the phone. Silence notifications. Do the 2 moves when your willpower is fresh. Template. Block 30 minutes for deep work. Block 15 minutes for outreach. That is the simplest high-leverage daily structure. 30 minutes of focused creation. 15 minutes of direct distribution. That's it. 2 moves, 0 excuses. Repeat the mantras. Say them until they sink in. Prove less, produce more. Launch incomplete, learn fast. 2 moves, 0 excuses. You have a choice. Use it. Now the practical. How to force yourself to obey these rules when the voice in your head pleads perfection. First, publicize the deadline. Tell one person, not just I'm working on something, but I will launch X on Friday at 2 p.m. Make it public. That creates gentle pressure. It activates accountability. You don't need their permission. You do need a deadline that will sting if missed. Second, make minimal acceptance criteria. Define success in tiny terms. Landing page live with headline, 3 benefits, and a sign-up form. Not conversion optimized, not brand perfect. Minimal, measurable, finishable. If it meets the criteria, ship. If it fails the criteria, iterate. Measuring beats mulling. Measure, don't mull. Third, lock the first block of the day. Protect it like a meeting with a client. No email, no Slack, no justifications. That 30-minute block is sacred. In that block, do the first high-leverage move. In the next 15-minute block, do the second. If something interrupts, reschedule the blocks immediately. You have a choice. Respect it. Fourth, create a tiny victory ritual. When you finish the 2 moves, mark it. Check a box. Speak a line. That ritual gives your brain a reward. It cements the behavior. Celebrate small wins, but celebrate simply. A quick breath and a check mark. Not an excuse to relax for a week. Win small, win often. Now the language. Use sentences that steer action. Replace I will someday with I will do X on Y. Replace I need to prepare more with I will launch the minimum and test. Replace what if it fails with what will I learn. That language rewires you. That language creates momentum. That language is discipline. It's not about talent, it's about discipline. It's not about perfect timing, it's about consistent timing. It's not about avoiding criticism, it's about collecting results. Say it, mean it, live it. You will resist. The resistance will show up as more planning, more research, more strategy. That's the lie of comfort. Comfort looks like work. Comfort is a trap. Decide now, which side are you on? Proving or producing? You have a choice. Choose production. Repeat these phrases daily. Repeat them before every work session. Prove less, produce more. Launch incomplete, learn fast. 2 moves, 0 excuses. Let them become your operating system. Conclude with a clear execution task. Right now, write 2 things. 1 launch you can do in 72 hours and 2 moves you will do tomorrow morning. Write them down. Announce them out loud. Make the deadline public. Do it. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need discipline. You need action. You mastered the move from planning to shipping. You learned how to set brutal deadlines, how to force momentum, and how to lock 2 decisive daily actions. You learned to trade approval seeking for outcome seeking. Now let's break the next barrier. Chapter 2. Break the decision tax. You have a choice. Decide to live burdened by options, or decide to move. That's the choice. Make it now. Indecision eats momentum. Indecision is a silent tax. It's charged in minutes, then compounded into months. It steals opportunities. It hides behind research and strategy. It hides behind, I want it to be perfect. Perfection is a thief. Momentum is the currency. Decide fast, correct faster. Look at the product developer who couldn't stop changing specs. 10 revisions, 10 meetings, 10 improvements. The competitor launched. The market shifted. The developer's idea rotted in internal reviews, all because the decision tax was paid in full. You don't need their permission. Ship the version that teaches you. That's the key. Here's how the decision tax works. Every decision delayed creates a future cost. Every minute spent wondering multiplies the chance you'll never decide. The brain prefers safety. The brain will find reasons not to decide. That's normal. That's predictable. You have a choice. Rule 1. Use micro-decisions. Make decisions small, tiny, cheap, fast. If the choice will take less than 10 minutes to decide, decide in 10 minutes or less. That's the 10-minute rule. Decide now, adjust later. How to apply the 10-minute rule? When faced with uncertainty, set a timer, 10 minutes. List possible actions.
Pick the clearest. Act. Don't set the decision adrift. Anchor it. Action creates data. Data beats doubt. Decide now, adjust later. Example, deciding on a headline for a landing page. Write 3 headlines in 10 minutes. Pick one, publish, test. Results arrive faster than anxiety. Results reveal truth. You will be surprised what 10 minutes and a decision deliver. Rule 2. Create a decision log. Track choices. Track outcomes. Track the time spent deciding. A decision log turns noise into signal. It converts guesswork into evidence. For 1 week, write down every decision that matters. Decision log template. Date/time. Decision, 1 sentence. Time spent deciding. Action taken, what was launched or changed. Outcome after 24 to 72 hours. 1 sentence lesson. Example entry. 2026/03/17/0810. Choose headline for email. Time deciding, 7 minutes. Action, sent email with headline A. Outcome, 12% open rate. Lesson, headline A beats internal favorite. That is how you build an evidence loop. Measure decisions, measure time, measure results. You will see patterns. You will see where you overthink. You will see where indecision was costing you momentum. Decide fast, correct faster. A decision log also trains discipline. It shows which choices need more analysis. It shows which choices need less. It forces accountability. It forces clarity. That's the key. Now, the framework you will use every day. Step 1. Identify 3 decisions that matter today. Not 20, 3. Keep it brutal. Less is more. Write them down in the morning. Time box each decision. Use the 10-minute rule for each micro decision. For bigger decisions, use a 30-minute box. Then act. Step 2. Act immediately after deciding. Action is the test. Action creates feedback. Action creates truth. If the action fails, you fix it. Correct faster. That's the mantra. Decide fast, correct faster. Step 3. Log the result. At the end of the day, put the outcomes in the decision log. 1 week of logs and you'll have a map of where you waste time. You'll see the tax you paid in indecision. You'll stop paying that tax. Language matters. Replace weak phrases with hard deadlines. Replace "I'll think about it" with "I will decide by 3 p.m." Replace "I'm researching" with "I will test." Replace "I need more time" with "I will set a 10-minute limit." You have a choice. Choose language that forces action. That's the key. Now a practical drill. Do this now, out loud. Write down 1 product, project, or promise you are delaying. Break it into 3 micro-decisions. Set a 10-minute timer for the first micro-decision. Decide, act, log the outcome. Repeat, repeat, repeat. You build the muscle by doing. Anticipate sabotage. Your brain will invent reasons to delay. It will ask for more data. It will ask for another meeting. It will recommend more research. That's comfort talking. Comfort is expensive. Comfort pays the decision tax. You have a choice. Refuse comfort when it costs momentum. Remember the phrases. Use them daily. Use them before every decision. You have a choice. Decide fast, correct faster. Decide now, adjust later. You don't need their permission. It's not about perfect plans. It's about ruthless discipline. Say it, mean it, do it. Small decisions compound. Small actions compound. Quick decisions remove friction. Quick decisions create momentum. Momentum is your advantage. Momentum beats better ideas that never leave the lab. Now, a warning. Fast decisions do not mean reckless decisions. Fast decisions mean disciplined, time-boxed choices followed by immediate action and measurement. Decide, Act, measure, correct, repeat. That is the loop. That is how you win. Finish this chapter with a concrete task. Do it now. Task: open a new note titled Decision Log Week 1. List 3 decisions you will make today. Time box each decision. Use the 10-minute rule. Make each decision within the set time. Act immediately. Log the outcome tonight. You have a choice. Burn the decision tax. Move with clarity. Move with speed. Move with evidence. That's the key. You sharpened the decision muscle. You learned to convert doubt into data. You learned how to stop paying the silent tax. Now, take that momentum and turn it into wins. You mastered decision speed. Now, let's weaponize small wins.
Chapter 3. Weaponize Small Wins. You have a choice. You can wait for the big break, or you can stack tiny wins until the break becomes inevitable. That's the choice. Choose the stack. Momentum is not magic. Momentum is a math problem. Tiny victories add up. Small actions create dopamine. Dopamine rewards the brain. The brain repeats rewarded behavior. That loop is your engine. Win small, win often. Start with the 5-minute win. 5 minutes, 50 words, 1 email, 1 pull-up, 1 sketch. Do something that produces a visible, finishable result in 5 minutes. Finish it. Mark it done. Feel the small jolt. Repeat. That jolt becomes wiring. That wiring becomes routine. Win small, win often. Why this works? Because action begets clarity. Because completion sends feedback. Because feedback refines action. You don't need their permission to begin. You don't need permission to be imperfect. You need tiny, repeated wins. That's the key. Real-world example. An athlete lifts 1% harder each day. 1% seems meaningless. 30 days later, the gain is real. A writer writes 50 words each morning. 1 paragraph turns into a chapter. An entrepreneur sends 1 cold message each morning. 1 response becomes a meeting. 1 meeting becomes a deal. 1% every day. This is the 1% assault. Not flashy, brutal, effective. Pick 1 area, improve it 1% daily. Track it, measure it, adjust it. Small improvement compounds. Momentum follows. 1% every day. Here is a practical playbook. Use it now. Step 1. Choose 1 leverage point. Not vague, specific, measurable, finishable. Examples. Write 500 words. Make 1 outreach. Sketch 10 thumbnails. Ship 1 social post. Build 1 test page. Step 2. Break that leverage point into micro-habits. Micro-habits are tiny and repeatable. Examples. Morning draft. 10 minutes, 500 words. Cold message. 15 minutes, 5 targeted DMs. Design sketches. 20 minutes, 10 thumbnails. Learning. 10 minutes, 1 article summary. These are not suggestions. They are the weapons. 1% every day. Step 3. Schedule the micro-habits. Protect the time. Block the slot. Close the door. Turn off the phone. Do the work. Win small, win often. Step 4. Celebrate the finish. Ritualize the reward. Mark a check. Ring a bell. Take a deep 30-second victory breath. A tiny ritual cements the habit. It signals the brain that a win occurred. Celebrate to escalate. Now, the 14-day micro-win challenge. Do this to internalize the loop. Day 0. Pick your single leverage point. Write it in bold. Days 1 through 14. Execute 1 micro-habit daily. Log completion. Use a simple checklist. Keep the habit tiny. Keep it non-negotiable. Every 3rd day, increase intensity by 1% or extend time by 1 minute. 1% every day. Day 15, measure results. Compare.
Decide next leverage point. This challenge builds momentum. It trains discipline. It destroys the story that progress must be dramatic. Progress is boring. Progress is stubborn. Progress is consistent. Win small, win often. Language shapes behavior. Use phrases that lock you into action. Repeat them aloud. Use them before each session. You have a choice. Win small, win often. 1% every day. Celebrate to escalate. It's not about inspiration, it's about discipline. Say them, feel them, do them. Now, tactics to prevent backslide. Make wins visible. Use a physical chart or a habit app. Seeing progress reduces friction. Seeing checks triggers the brain to continue. Reduce friction to start. Keep tools ready. Open document. Phone on Do Not Disturb. Clean desk. 5-minute starts are easy starts. Public accountability. Tell one person what you will do. Post a daily update. You don't need their permission to act, but you do benefit from accountability. Micro celebrations only. No binge rewards. No long pauses. A quick breath, a check mark, then get back to stacking. Now the mindset reset. This is not about perfection. This is not about overnight genius. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's about showing up and stacking wins. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Repeat it. Live it. Build it. A short rehearsal. Do this now. Stop the audio. Open a note. Write one leverage point. Be specific. List 3 micro habits that produce small wins. Schedule the first micro habit in the next 60 minutes. Do it. Check it off. Ring your small private bell. You have a choice. Choose the small win. Choose momentum. That's the key. The result will be obvious. More done. Less thinking. Rising confidence. Clearer next steps. Faster decisions. Less fear. Wins breed wins. You built a weapon. You learned the 5-minute win. You learned the 1% assault. You learned to ritualize tiny victories. Celebrate to escalate. Win small, win often. You redirected energy from planning into execution. You turned vague ambition into measurable action. You converted inconsistency into an engine. That is progress. That is momentum. You mastered stacking small wins. Now, let's make those wins inevitable.
Chapter 4. Kill motivation, build systems. You have a choice. You can wait for motivation, or you can build a system that makes action automatic. That's the choice. Choose the system. Here's the myth. Motivation will show up. Motivation will carry you through. Motivation will save you. That story kills more projects than failure ever will. Don't wait to feel it. Don't wait to feel it. Example, 2 founders, same idea, same skills, same market window. One said, "I'll start when I feel ready." They waited for inspiration. Months passed. The market moved. Competitors launched. The idea still lived in notes. The other founder said, "I'll set 3 non-negotiable blocks every week." They blocked time. They shipped MVPs. They tested. They iterated. They won the small battles that add up to big wins. Don't wait to feel it. System first, feeling later. Why this matters? Motivation is a mood. Moods are fleeting. Systems are reliable. Systems turn decision into default. Systems remove the need for permission. You don't need their permission. You don't need a mood. You need a routine that forces action. That's the key. Start with schedule automation. Make success the path of least resistance. Design your environment to push you forward. Step 1. Time blocks. Put the work on the calendar like a meeting. Treat creative blocks as non-negotiable appointments. Example,
Morning creative block, 7 to 8 a.m. Calendar invite, repeat weekly. Phone on Do Not Disturb. Door closed. No excuses. System first, feeling later. Step 2. Single task list. Not a long to-do list, not a chaotic app with 40 items. One priority, one focus. The single task list forces depth. The single task list kills context switching. The single task list creates progress. Pick one thing, do it, ship it. That's the key. Step 3. Remove friction. Make starting simpler than avoiding it. Pre-open files, pre-load templates, have a notebook ready, charge the laptop. Create a workspace that says Start. If it takes 5 extra steps to begin, the brain will find one. Remove those steps. Remove the friction. Action becomes default. Step 4. Environment triggers. Associate places with behaviors. The chair is for deep work. The coffee shop is for outreach. Your phone drawer is for focus. Build automatic triggers. Create habits that fire when the environment signals. That reduces reliance on willpower. System first, feeling later. Now add the social layer. Contracts and anchors enforce follow-through. Habit contracts are public. They are simple. They are brutal. They turn intent into obligation. Example contract. I will publish the first draft on Friday at 5 p.m. If I do not, I will pay $100 to a charity I do not respect. Harsh? Yes. Effective? Also yes. The pain of failure becomes motivation to act. Contract yourself to progress. Another example. 2 accountability partners. One checks daily for completion. One checks weekly for quality. They are your anchors. They ask the hard questions. They remove the cozy excuses. You don't need their permission to start. You benefit from their expectations. Contract yourself to progress. How to write a habit contract? 3 lines, clear action, deadline, consequence. Sign it. Share it publicly. Pay the cost if you fail. That cost is not punishment. It is a lever. Levers move resistance. Now practice anchors. Choose 2 people. Call them. Tell them the promise. Ask them for a check-in cadence. Make it painful to fail. Ask them to call you out. Ask them to require proof. Give them the power to enforce your new habits. That is accountability. Daily mechanics you will use. Block your primary creative hour on the calendar. Treat it like a client meeting. Protect it. No exceptions. Define the single task list for that hour. 1 outcome only. 1 deliverable. Remove friction. Set up the file. Clear the desk. Disable notifications. Start within 1 minute of sitting. Publicize a tiny habit contract. Put up a $100 bet or a clear consequence. Tell 2 accountability partners. Schedule the first check-in. You will resist. The voice will whisper, "I'll do it tomorrow." The voice will ask for more planning. The voice will demand a better system. It will never stop. That's normal. You have a choice. Ignore the voice. Build the system. That's the key. Language matters. Use hard, small phrases to anchor behavior. You have a choice. Don't wait to feel it. System first, feeling later. Contract yourself to progress. It's not about motivation, it's about discipline. Say them out loud before every session. Repeat them when resistance rises. Real tactics to keep the system tight. Calendar armor. Make your blocks visible and immovable. Share them if needed. Micro commitments. Promise 1 deliverable and publish it. Small public deadlines reduce delay. Progress anchors. Log completion immediately. A short note, 1 line, done. Fail-safe consequences. Set an automatic payment to a charity or someone who will enforce the consequence. The cost makes the system real. Measure the results. Systems that don't produce outcomes are vanity systems. Track output, not effort. Track deliveries, not hours. If the blocks are full and nothing ships, change the system. Iterate fast. Decide fast. Correct faster. You have a choice. This is not a lifetime overhaul. It's tactical. Set it up this week, test it next week, refine it the week after. Systems require iteration. Systems require discipline. Systems beat moods every time. Final drill. Do this now before you forget. Open your calendar. Block one 60-minute creative hour for tomorrow. Label it Creative Hour. Do not move. Choose one single task outcome for that hour. Write it down in one sentence. Create a simple habit contract. One sentence, one consequence. Post it publicly. Name 2 accountability anchors and schedule the first check-in. You have a choice. Build the system. Let the system carry you when motivation deserts you. That is transformation. That is the path from ideas to results. You don't need their permission. You need a structure that forces action. That's the key. You dismantled the myth of waiting for inspiration. You learned to automate your schedule and weaponize accountability. You turned emotion into infrastructure. Now, let's talk about the true currency of your life.
Chapter 5. The Brutal Truth About Comfort. You have a choice. You can live safe, or you can live effective. That's the choice. Pick it now. Comfort is a slow poison. It looks gentle. It creeps in. It fills schedules with small, safe tasks. It replaces ambition with routine. Comfort costs time. Comfort costs progress. Comfort costs lives lived loudly. Picture the comfortable job, invisible life, a steady paycheck, a nice commute, work that never threatens, a calendar full of meetings, a to-do list of busy work. Years pass. The promotion never comes. The side project never launches. The voice never finds air. Count the cost. If comfort steals 1 hour of deliberate action each weekday, that's 5 hours a week. 5 hours a week is 260 hours a year. 260 hours is about 10.8 full days. In 10 years, that's 2,600 hours, roughly 108 days of lost action. In 30 years, it's 7,800 hours, nearly a full year gone. That is not theory. That is arithmetic. Comfort costs time. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their permission to act. You don't need approval to be uncomfortable. You need practice. It's not about safety. It's about discipline. Here is the method, the discomfort exposure protocol. The goal, widen your action tolerance. Make discomfort ordinary. Make courage habitual. Choose growth over ease. The plan is brutal and simple. 2 weeks, 14 days of micro discomforts, short, sharp, repeatable. They build a tolerance that scales. Rules of the sprint. Keep exposure short, 5 to 30 minutes. Start small. Expand daily by 1 to 2 minutes or 1 extra repetition. Record outcomes. No excuses, no bargaining. Celebrate tiny wins, then do more. Example 14-day sprint. Days 1 to 3, cold start tasks. Day 1, open a blank file and write for 5 minutes. Publish a 1-paragraph post. Day 2, start a task without planning more than 2 minutes. Ship a stub. Day 3, make a 5-minute cold DM to one target. Send it. Days 4 to 7, refusal to multitask. Day 4, work in a single 30-minute block. No tabs, no phone. Day 5, make 2 30-minute deep work blocks. Track output. Day 6, do 1 unpleasant admin task immediately at the hour. Finish fast. Day 7, reflect. Note friction points.
Days 8 to 11, direct outreach and exposure. Day 8, make 3 30-minute cold calls. No script longer than 2 lines. Day 9, record a 60-second video and post it. Day 10, ask for feedback publicly. Receive it. Thank the giver. Day 11, send a bold ask, a meeting, an introduction, a review. Days 12 to 14, scale discomfort. Day 12, combine a cold start with outreach, ship and ask. Day 13, extend a productive block to 60 minutes. No breaks except a single breath at 30. Day 14, public promise. Announce a small deliverable and a deadline. If missed, pay the consequence. Each day log 1 sentence, what was done, how it felt, what was learned. Small data, big changes. That is the loop. Why this works. Discomfort is practice. Practice turns fear into routine. Routine turns action into habit. Habit beats willpower. Habit beats mood. Habit makes you unstoppable. Choose growth over ease. That's the key. Now the cognitive tool. Reframe risk as data. Stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what will I learn? That shifts you from paralysis to curiosity. Examples. Instead of, what if the product flops? Ask, what will this test teach me about customers? Instead of, what if people judge my post? Ask, what feedback will guide the next post? Instead of, what if the meeting goes badly? Ask, what will I uncover about the prospect's priorities? Risk is information. Repeat it. Risk is information. Say it before every scary action. Make the learning the goal. That removes the weight of perfection. That frees action. Practical scripts to use aloud. What will I learn if I do this? I'll test for data, not approval. If it fails, it teaches. If it succeeds, it scales. Say these lines. Use them like armor. Now, specific drills to convert theory into doing. Pick one comfort you tolerate. Name it. Example, scrolling social media during work. Replace one comfort moment with a micro discomfort. Example, instead of scrolling at 10 a.m., write 50 words about your top priority. Log the result immediately. 1 line, done. Launch a 14-day discomfort sprint tomorrow. Use the template above. Share the sprint publicly. Add a consequence for failure. Make failure costly. Contract yourself to progress. Language again. Use brutal phrases. Keep them short. Repeat them often. You have a choice. Comfort costs time. Choose growth over ease. Risk is information. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about building discipline. Say them before you start. Say them when you stall. You will fail during this sprint. Good, that's the point. Failure here is work. Failure produces data. Failure reduces the unknown. Failure grows tolerance. You have a choice. Embrace the learning. Finish with a decisive task. Do it now. Name one comfort you will eliminate for 14 days. Write the replacement micro-discomfort. Announce it publicly. Set a consequence for missing it. Start day 1 tomorrow morning. You chose growth for this chapter. You hurt the poison of comfort. You built a short program to expand your action tolerance. You learned to treat risk as data. You learned the arithmetic of lost time and why comfort is expensive. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their permission to be uncomfortable. You need discipline to practice it. You forced discomfort. Now we will force urgency. Next, how to use pressure to produce results.
Chapter 6. Reverse Engineer Pressure. You have a choice. You can wait for the perfect moment, or you can manufacture the moment. That's the choice. Choose to create pressure. Here's the insight. Pressure produces. Writers under contract finish novels. Solo writers with no deadline stall.
Same talent, same ideas, different outcome. The contract forces pages. The contract forces edits. The contract forces shipping. Pressure produces. Why? Because pressure removes permission to hesitate. Pressure short-circuits analysis. Pressure prioritizes action. Pressure creates visible consequences. That clarity focuses energy. That is the engine of results. You don't need their permission to start. You need a deadline that will sting if missed. That's the key. This chapter is tactical. It teaches how to reverse engineer pressure. It gives steps. It gives scripts. It gives defenses. Use them. Pressure with purpose. Tactic 1. Create artificial scarcity. Scarcity triggers urgency. Urgency forces decisions. Decisions create outcomes. Scarcity is a tool. Use it. Options for scarcity. Limited seats. Only 50 spots. Only 100 invites. Time-bound offers. The price rises after midnight. Doors close in 72 hours. Public deadlines. Announced to an audience. A date that cannot be ignored. Make the world expect it. Say that line until it sticks. Make the world expect it. Step by step. Set a launch countdown. 7-day model. Day A. Decide the offer. Pick the one deliverable. Simple, clear, finishable. Decide the limit. Seats or bonuses. Make it finite. Day B. Set the deadline. Choose a date and time. Lock it. Publicize it. Use the calendar like a hammer. No changing. Day C. Build the landing page. Headline, benefit, 3 bullets. Clear CTA. Add a sign-up or payment option. Add a countdown timer plugin. Visual scarcity matters. Day D. Prepare the announcement copy. Initial launch. Doors open Friday at 10 a.m. 50 seats, no exceptions. Reminder sequence. 72 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours, last call, closed. Use short, urgent lines. Example, clock is ticking, save your seat. Make the world expect it. Day E. Social proof and urgency. Line up one testimonial, one result, one short quote. Add the testimonial to the landing page and announcements. Scarcity plus proof kills doubt. Day F. Automate the reminders. Schedule emails and social posts. Use a countdown timer. Use scheduled DM reminders for hot leads. Let automation maintain the pressure even when you sleep. Day G. Launch and enforce consequences. Close doors on time. No exceptions. If you promised a limit, honor it. Scarcity must be real or you lose credibility. Sample messaging templates. Short and sharp. Launch post. Doors open tomorrow. 50 seats. First come, first served. 10 a.m. 48-hour reminder. Only 20 seats left. This closes Friday. Last call. Final 2 hours. Doors close at 8 p.m. This is it. Copy like this moves people. Make the world expect it. Why artificial pressure works. It converts passive interest into action. It forces choices. It cheats comfort. It makes excuses expensive. That is the power. Pressure produces. But pressure can be toxic. Know the difference. Pressure with purpose is constructive. Pressure from shame is destructive. Learn to tell them apart. Constructive pressure has clear, achievable targets, has rules and fair consequences, pushes towards growth, has recovery built in. Destructive pressure uses shame to force movement, uses guilt to manipulate, has unclear standards, breaks people instead of building them. Do not confuse aggression for effectiveness. You do not need to punish yourself into action. You do not need toxic voices around you. You have a choice. Protect your mind. That's the key. How to apply pressure without breaking yourself. Set humane consequences. Use a monetary consequence donated to a cause you dislike. It stings, but it is not humiliating. Use a time consequence. Do extra work on the next day. That is fair and fixable. Choose accountability partners who push but do not shame. One person to check the deadline, one to help recover when things go sideways. Avoid people who revel in your failure. Schedule recovery rituals. A short walk after a launch, 10 minutes of mindful breathing, a 20-minute power nap. Tighten the work window, then rest. Pressure is a sprint, not a life sentence. Pressure with purpose. Monitor stress signals. If your sleep collapses, if your mood crashes, if relationships suffer, pull back, recalibrate. Pressure is a tool. You control the intensity. Real case scenario to model. A freelance coach wanted to fill a 25-seat program. No clients, no momentum. She set a 7-day countdown. She promised 25 seats and 2 bonuses for the first 10. She posted daily updates. She sent automated reminders. She honored the limit. She closed on schedule. She scaled the offer next month. Pressure produced. She didn't need their permission to make pressure. She made the world expect it. Practical drills you will use today. Drill 1. Plan a 72-hour mini-launch. Pick one offer, one limit, one deadline 72 hours from now. Build a 1-page sign-up. Add a visible countdown. Write 3 messages. Launch, 24 hours, last call. Schedule them. Drill 2. Create a public promise. Announce the launch to one channel, email, DM, or social. Name the consequence for missing the deadline. Share it. Make it real. Drill 3. Recovery plan. Block 30 minutes post-close for reset. Walk, breathe, log lessons. Celebrate the work, not the result. Pressure with purpose. Language anchors. Say these phrases before every launch. You have a choice. Pressure produces. Make the world expect it. Pressure with purpose. It's not about perfectionism. It's about discipline and deadlines. Repeat them. Use them like commands. Warnings and ethics. Do not manufacture false scarcity. Do not lie about seats. Do not make promises you can't keep. Pressure works when it is honest. Otherwise, you burn trust. Trust is the currency you spend after pressure. Final task. Do it now. Choose one thing to put on a 72-hour countdown. Set the deadline. Add a visible countdown to a page or message. Tell one accountability partner. Announce it publicly. Schedule the 3 reminders. Launch on time. Close on time. You have a choice. Use pressure as a lever. Force action. Force clarity. Force decisions. That's the key. You engineered pressure. You learned to build scarcity, set countdowns, and defend against toxicity. You made urgency a tool rather than a threat. Now, let's use the time you'll free up.
Chapter 7. Outsource the critical, not the core. You have a choice. You can spend your best hours doing small things, or you can protect the work that actually moves your life forward. That's the choice. Choose leverage. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Busy work masquerades as productivity. Answering emails, formatting documents, updating spreadsheets, scheduling meetings, organizing folders. These things feel productive. They look productive. They are rarely the work that creates results. Many founders fall into this trap. Picture a startup founder who spends the entire week answering emails, fixing formatting, updating CRM entries, and attending meetings about meetings. Every day is full. Every hour feels busy. But the core product? Still unfinished. The marketing strategy? Still unclear. The actual revenue engine, still untouched. That founder is working hard, but the company is standing still. Stop doing the small stuff. Say it again. Stop doing the small stuff. You have a choice. That's the key. You can stay busy, or you can stay effective. It's not about effort, it's about discipline. This is where the 80-20 rule becomes your weapon. 80% of your results come from 20% of your work. That means most of what you do every day is not the real driver of progress. Your job is simple. Identify the 20% and protect it. Protect your 20%. Here is the practical method. Run a 7-day task audit. For 1 week, write down every task you perform. Everything. Emails, calls, admin, planning, creation, research. Do not rely on memory. Write it as it happens. At the end of the week, review the list. Ask one brutal question. Which tasks actually created progress? Which tasks generated revenue, produced content, moved a project forward, or created opportunity? Highlight those tasks. That is your 20%. Protect your 20%. Now look at the rest. Most of it will fall into 3 categories: administrative tasks, repetitive tasks, low-impact tasks. These are not evil, but they are not your job. Your job is leverage. Your job is high-impact thinking and execution. Everything else should be delegated, automated, or eliminated. Stop doing the small stuff. Now let's talk about real outsourcing channels. You do not need a huge company to delegate. You need clarity. Start with virtual assistants. Virtual assistants handle administrative work, email filtering, calendar scheduling, document formatting, research gathering. These tasks consume hours. A VA can handle them efficiently. Next is freelancers. Freelancers can take on specialized tasks: design work, video editing, copywriting, technical setup. You provide the direction, they provide the execution. Third is batching systems. Batching means grouping similar tasks together and processing them in one block. Example: instead of answering emails all day, answer them once per day for 20 minutes. Instead of posting content daily, schedule a week of content in one session. Batching protects your deep work. Protect your 20%. Now comes the critical skill: writing clear briefs. Delegation fails when instructions are vague. A good brief removes confusion. Use this simple 5-part brief template. The outcome: what exactly must be delivered. The format: file type, size, platform, or structure. The deadline: specific date and time. The reference: one example of the desired result. The success criteria: how you will evaluate the work. Clear brief, clear result. Delegate to accelerate. Next is batching delegated work. Instead of delegating randomly throughout the day, create delegation windows. Example: Monday morning, send all tasks. Thursday afternoon, review all completed work. This protects your focus. You are not constantly switching contexts. You are operating like a strategist, not a task robot. Delegate to accelerate. Now let's talk about review. Delegation without review creates chaos, but review does not mean micromanagement. Keep reviews short. Look at the result. Check it against the brief. Approve or request one specific correction. Do not rewrite the entire task yourself. That defeats the purpose. Instead, train through feedback. Every iteration improves the system. Delegate to accelerate. Some people resist delegation because of ego.
They say, I can do it better myself. Maybe, but if you do everything yourself, you become the bottleneck. Growth requires letting go. Another objection appears. No one understands my vision. Then teach them. Record a 5-minute screen video explaining the task. Create a template. Document the process once, then reuse it forever. Systems replace memory. Systems multiply output. Protect your 20%. Here is a simple delegation starter plan. Step 1. Identify 3 tasks you should never do again. Examples: scheduling meetings, formatting presentations, uploading content. Step 2. Write a simple brief for each task. Step 3. Assign the tasks to a freelancer or assistant. Step 4. Schedule a weekly review block. 1 hour, no more. That is how delegation becomes a system. You have a choice. Continue drowning in busy work or become the architect of your time. Stop doing the small stuff. Protect your 20%. Delegate to accelerate. Repeat those phrases. Let them guide your decisions. You have a choice. Stop doing the small stuff. Protect your 20%. Delegate to accelerate. Repeat those phrases. Let them guide your decisions. You have a choice. Stop doing the small stuff. Protect your 20%. Delegate to accelerate. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing what matters. That's the key. When you protect your best hours, something powerful happens. Your creativity returns. Your strategy sharpens. Your projects move faster. Your life becomes intentional instead of reactive. You stop reacting to tasks. You start directing outcomes. And that shift changes everything. You have now learned how to remove low-impact work from your schedule and protect the activities that create real progress. You reclaimed your time. But even with leverage and delegation, one obstacle remains: fear. Fear still stops people from taking action. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure. So now we confront it directly.
Chapter 8. Use fear as fuel, not a stop sign. You have a choice. You can treat fear like a stop sign, or you can treat fear like a compass. Most people stop when fear appears, but the truth is simple. Fear points to growth. Repeat that. Fear points to growth. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a signal. It tells you where the next level of your life begins. Think about the first-time public speaker. The first time they stand on stage, their hands shake, their voice tightens, their heart races. Everything inside them says, run. But something powerful happens when they stay. They rehearse harder. They focus more. They prepare deeper. They step on stage again, and again, and again. Suddenly, something changes. The fear that once stopped them now sharpens them. Fear becomes fuel. Fear points to growth. You have a choice. Avoid the fear and stay the same, or follow the fear and evolve. That's the key. It's not about confidence, it's about discipline. Confidence comes later. Action comes first. So how do you turn fear into a training tool? You use the exposure loop. The exposure loop is simple. You expose yourself to a small version of the fear. You act quickly. You review the result. Then you repeat. That's the loop. Fear shrinks every time you repeat the cycle. Let's make this practical. Example: fear of posting online. Step 1. Record a 1-minute video. Do not overthink it. Do not edit it perfectly. Record it. Step 2. Post it. Step 3. Reflect. Ask 3 questions. What went well? What can improve? What will I try next time? Then repeat the loop.
Fear points to growth. This is not theory, this is exposure training, and exposure builds courage. Here is a powerful framework. 7 exposures in 14 days. 14 days, 7 small challenges. That means you face the fear every other day. Each exposure must be small, fast, and real. Here are examples. Exposure 1. Record a 60-second video and post it. Exposure 2. Send a cold message to someone you admire. Exposure 3. Share an unfinished idea publicly. Exposure 4. Ask someone for feedback. Exposure 5. Volunteer to speak in a meeting. Exposure 6. Publish a rough draft instead of a perfect one. Exposure 7. Ask for an opportunity that might reject you. None of these actions are extreme, but they stretch your comfort zone, and every exposure weakens fear. That's the key. Now here is the secret rule. Do the scary thing twice. The first time breaks the barrier. The second time builds the habit. Do the scary thing twice. Your brain learns quickly. Once it sees survival, it relaxes. The fear fades. Fear points to growth. But courage is not built in one moment. Courage is built through repetition. Courage is a habit. Repeat that. Courage is a habit. You train it daily. Small risks, small discomforts, small actions. Over time, your tolerance expands. Here are simple daily courage drills. Say no to something that wastes your time. Send a cold DM to someone you respect. Ask a question in a room where you normally stay quiet. Share a piece of work before it feels perfect. Make a public promise about a goal. Each action strengthens the courage muscle. Courage is a habit. Many people believe courage means feeling fearless. That is wrong. Courage means acting while fear exists. Fear will always appear. The difference is what you do next. You have a choice. You can listen to the fear, or you can move anyway. That's the key. Here is a practical mental shift. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" Start asking, "What will I learn?" This question transforms fear into data. Risk equals information. Feedback equals progress. Growth equals repetition. Fear points to growth. Now let's address another truth. Fear often hides behind perfectionism. People say, "I'm not ready. I need more time. I'll do it later." These are fear sentences. Fear disguised as preparation. The solution is speed. Act before fear builds momentum. Record before doubt grows. Send before hesitation expands. Action shrinks fear. Hesitation feeds it. Do the scary thing twice. Here is your challenge for this chapter. Create your 14-day courage plan. Write down 7 actions that scare you slightly. Not terrifying, just uncomfortable. Schedule them every other day. After each exposure, write a quick reflection. 1 sentence. What happened? What did you learn? Then move to the next exposure. 7 exposures, 14 days. Courage will grow. Fear will shrink. You will become someone who acts, because courage is a habit. Say it again. Courage is a habit. You have a choice. Fear points to growth. Do the scary thing twice. Courage is a habit. It's not about confidence, it's about discipline. Those are the anchors. Repeat them. Use them. Live them. When fear appears next time, you will not run. You will recognize it. You will say, "Fear points to growth," and you will step forward. You have now learned to turn fear into fuel. You learned the exposure loop. You built a system to train courage. But one more discipline remains. Action must be measured, because progress without measurement becomes guesswork. So now we sharpen the final tool.
Chapter 9. Measure ruthlessly. Celebrate quietly. You have a choice. You can operate on feelings, or you can operate on facts. Most people rely on feelings. They feel like they're making progress. They feel like the strategy is working. They feel like the effort will eventually pay off. But feelings are unreliable. Data tells the truth. That's why this rule matters. Measure or guess. Repeat it. Measure or guess. Because what's measured moves. Let's look at a simple example. A marketing team launched 2 versions of the same advertisement. Version A had a clean headline. Version B had a curiosity-driven headline. Both ads ran for the same audience. Without tracking, both ads looked fine. Both had engagement. Both generated clicks. But when the data was analyzed, the truth appeared. Version B produced 40% more conversions. 40%. Same budget, same audience, different result. That improvement didn't come from luck. It came from measurement. Measure or guess. If the team had relied on opinions, they might have chosen the wrong ad. But numbers removed the debate. Numbers revealed the winner. Numbers informed action. That's the key. Numbers inform action. Now let's talk about practical measurement. You don't need complicated analytic systems. You need clarity. Start with 3 key metrics, 3 KPIs. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Too many metrics create confusion. 3 creates focus. Choose the numbers that actually move your results. Example for a creative project. KPI 1, output. How many pieces of work were produced this week? Videos recorded, articles written, designs completed. Output measures consistency. KPI 2, reach. How many people saw the work? Views, impressions, audience growth. Reach measures visibility. KPI 3, response. How did people react? Comments, sign-ups, sales. Response measures impact. Output, reach, response. 3 numbers. That's enough to see progress clearly. Numbers inform action. Now build a simple dashboard. This dashboard can be extremely basic. A spreadsheet works perfectly. Create 4 columns: week, KPI 1, output, KPI 2, reach, KPI 3, response. Every week, record the numbers. That's it. No complicated software required. But the real power comes from the weekly review. Once per week, schedule a 20-minute review. Look at the numbers, ask 3 questions. What improved? What declined? What needs adjustment? Then create a corrective action list. Example, if output dropped, schedule a focused work block. If reach dropped, test a new headline or format. If response dropped, improve the call to action. Numbers inform action. Without measurement, you are guessing. With measurement, you are steering. Measure or guess. Now let's talk about celebration. Celebration matters. Progress deserves recognition. But how you celebrate determines whether you grow or stagnate. Here is the rule. Celebrate milestones privately. Escalate results publicly. Quiet wins build discipline. Loud wins build momentum. Many people reverse this. They celebrate loudly before results are real. They post announcements before work is finished. They chase attention instead of progress. That approach weakens discipline. Quiet wins keep the ego under control. When you hit a milestone, acknowledge it. Take a moment. Reflect on the work. Log the achievement. But don't let celebration become distraction. Record, reflect, repeat. Now, here is where public celebration becomes powerful, when the results are real, when the progress is measurable, when the outcome is undeniable. Then you share it, not to boast, but to create accountability. Public milestones create momentum. People expect more. Expectations create pressure. Pressure creates consistency. Record, reflect, repeat. This is how professionals grow. They measure performance, they review results, they adjust strategy, then they repeat the cycle week after week, month after month. Measurement compounds improvement.
A 1% improvement per week becomes massive over time. But without tracking, improvement is invisible. Measure or guess. Here is your assignment for this chapter. Build your personal scoreboard right now. Step 1. Choose your 3 KPIs: output, reach, response. Step 2. Create a simple weekly dashboard, 1 spreadsheet, 4 columns. Step 3. Schedule a weekly review block, 20 minutes, same time every week. Step 4. Write 1 corrective action after each review. Just 1. Small improvements compound. Numbers inform action. Before every review, repeat these anchors. Measure or guess. Numbers inform action. Record, reflect, repeat. It's not about emotion, it's about evidence. Those phrases will keep you grounded, because the truth is simple. If you do not measure your progress, you will drift. If you measure ruthlessly, you will improve. You will see patterns, you will see opportunities, you will see mistakes before they grow. That clarity creates power. You are no longer guessing, you are operating with precision. You now have the tools to execute, track, and improve your actions consistently. But one final discipline remains, the discipline that ties everything together. Consistency over time. That's where the real transformation happens. So now we enter the final chapter.
Chapter 10. The Daily War Plan. Execute like a general. You have reached the final chapter, and everything now comes down to one thing: execution. Ideas are easy. Plans are easy. Motivation is easy. Execution is where most people fail. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack ambition, but because they lack a daily system for action. Generals don't win wars with random effort. They win with structured plans, a clear strategy, clear objectives, clear daily moves. That is exactly what you will build now, a daily war plan. Because success is not random. Success is scheduled. And the rule that guides this system is simple. Plan the fight, fight the plan. Repeat it. Plan the fight, fight the plan. Your day now becomes a 3-part cycle: morning attack, midday correction, evening debrief. 3 checkpoints, 3 decisions, 3 opportunities to stay on course. Let's break them down. First, the morning attack plan. This is the moment you decide how the day will be won, not with a long to-do list, but with clarity. Every morning begins with a short pre-flight checklist. Just 3 questions. What are the 3 wins that would make today successful? What are the 2 threats that could derail the day? What is the 1 focus block that must be protected? 3 wins, 2 threats, 1 focus block. This keeps your day sharp and intentional. Let's see a practical example. 3 wins. Finish the project proposal, record 1 video, send 5 outreach messages. 2 threats: endless email checking, social media distraction. 1 focus block: 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., uninterrupted deep work. That's the entire strategy for the day. Simple, clear, powerful. Now comes the command phrase. Before work begins, say this aloud. Today I will finish X, start Y, refuse Z. Example. Today I will finish the proposal, start the content outline, refuse distractions. Words matter. Commands focus the mind. 1 day, 1 plan. Now the second phase begins, the midday course correction. Even the best plans encounter resistance. Unexpected tasks appear. Energy fluctuates. Priorities shift. That's why generals adjust strategy mid-battle. At midday, pause for 5 minutes. Ask 3 questions. What progress has been made? What obstacle appeared? What must change for the afternoon? Then make 1 adjustment. Maybe the focus block moves. Maybe 1 task gets removed.
Maybe one task becomes urgent, but the rule remains the same. Plan the fight, fight the plan. This correction prevents the day from drifting, because drifting destroys momentum. Now comes the third phase, the evening debrief. This is where progress compounds. Most people finish the day and immediately jump into distraction, scrolling, streaming, escaping. But high performers close the day with reflection. 5 minutes, that's all it is. Write down 3 things: what was completed, what was learned, what will improve tomorrow. Then record the daily win log. Even if the win seems small, wins reinforce identity. Wins remind the brain that progress is real. One day, one plan. This daily system creates something powerful: consistency. Because greatness rarely comes from one heroic moment. It comes from disciplined repetition, day after day. That's how momentum is built. But now we zoom out, because days do not exist alone. Days stack, weeks stack, months stack. That is where transformation truly happens. The secret is the 90-day sprint. 90 days is long enough to produce serious results, but short enough to stay urgent. Think about what 90 days can create: a business launched, a portfolio rebuilt, a new skill mastered, but only if the days are intentional. Days stack, results follow. Here's the 90-day contract template. Write it down. Objective: what is the single transformation you want in 90 days? Example: launch a product, publish 50 pieces of content, land 5 clients. Next section, daily commitments. What actions must happen every day? Example: 1 hour of focused creation, 1 outreach message, 1 skill improvement session. Next section, non-negotiables. What distractions will you refuse? Example: no social media before work, no skipping the daily review. Finally, accountability. Choose one person who knows your contract. Share the objective, share the rules, share the deadline. This creates pressure. Pressure produces. You've already learned that lesson. Days stack, results follow. Now imagine this cycle repeating. One focused day, then another, then another. 30 days later, you have momentum. 90 days later, your life looks different, because consistency compounds faster than intensity. Small daily victories build unstoppable momentum. One day, one plan. Say these phrases before every workday. Plan the fight, fight the plan. One day, one plan. Today I will finish X, start Y, refuse Z. Repeat them. Use them like commands. Because success is not built through occasional inspiration. It is built through disciplined execution. You now have the full framework. You learn to kill motivation and build systems. You learn to reject comfort. You learn to create pressure. You learn to delegate low-value work. You learn to use fear as fuel. You learn to measure results. And now you learn to execute daily like a general. Everything you need already exists. The only thing left is action. So start the war plan tomorrow morning. 3 wins, 2 threats, 1 focus block. Say the command, execute the plan. Record the win, then repeat the next day. Days stack, results follow. And that is how everything changes. This is the end of the lesson and the beginning of the work. Stop theorizing, stop polishing. Pick the smallest brutal task on your list and do it now, not tomorrow, not after one more video. Decide in 10 minutes. Lock a 30-minute block. Make one public promise. Ship something. Repeat the micro-win. Measure it. Adjust it. Turn discomfort your gym. Turn pressure into a deadline. Delegate the obvious. Fear becomes fuel when action is the path. This audiobook gave the map. Now walk the road. Click like if action matters to you. Subscribe to Mind Shift Audiobooks and turn on notifications. Now answer this. What one thing will be done in the next 60 minutes? Do it. Go.